Good Monday makers. It's time to check out some community builds. And as always, we've got some really great ones. All kinds of really clever stuff that people have built with the empty conduit, connectors, and other ordinary materials. Let's jump right in and check out the builds. First up, we've got this one from Michael. And this is an adjustable canopy that he built for his camper. He used some telescoping clamps and some really interesting techniques to make it adjustable. And this is very similar to the canopy that Billy Shaw built on the Northwoods Engineered YouTube channel a while back. I think Michael got a lot of inspiration from that and even reached out to Billy and kind of figured out parts and everything like that. But basically, you can see he's got a camper here and he just attached, it looks like a long piece of conduit is attached to the outer side of the camper. And if not, then maybe there's something that was already installed on the camper. And this is a bracket that he used to branch off of it. But basically, this joint here swivels and the connector or the conduit, excuse me, comes out of that joint, comes out and then is connected here. And I think he did something really cool, I believe, with eye hooks to make this be able to rotate. Because if you remember on Billy's version, it was made to basically swing up and down and be adjustable based on the angle of the sun. And it looks like that Michael did something similar here. And the way he's able to do that is it looks like the joint here at the bottom has half-inch EMT coming out of it. And then he used some of the telescoping clamps to be able to basically slide this 3/4 inch EMT over top of the half-inch by just twisting that knob. So the whole pipe can basically just slide over it, and then the whole thing can just kind of fold down and up against the side of the camper, which is really clever. Looks like he's got some canvas material here that is rolled up. I imagine, you can roll it all the way up if you want to, stow this, or if you want to unroll it whenever you're ready to actually use the awning. So just really great all around. A lot of cool stuff involved. And you can check out Billy's video in the description. I'll link that as well if you want to see his and be like Michael and pull some inspiration from it. And they're both really great. Awesome job, guys. Thanks so much for sharing this. Next up is a build from Mike's Chaotic Gardening, and he's doing some indoor gardening using some of these. I forget what it's called. I had it beforehand, but it just slipped out of my mind. I think it's deep water. It's some kind of hydroponic, like bucket gardening kind of thing. And he's got this rack indoors that he's using to basically house the plants. And he's going vertical with his garden to just kind of save space. And what he's done is he's used some of the off the shelf wire shelves that you can get. These are really common. You see people use them in garages and pantries and all kinds of different places because they're so versatile and pretty inexpensive for what they are. And basically, at the very top, he's got another um, container here that he's going to be doing some gardening out of, and the plants are going to be growing out of here. And on top of the shelf, he built this stand for a grow light out of maker pipe and conduit. The conduit, as you can see here, is just running along the top of the shelf. He's just got it zip tied to the frame just so he can easily remove it later, which is great. He's got T connectors going up to create the verticals that go all the way to the top. He's got some side to side bracing with more T connectors. And at the very top, he used 90-degree T connectors again to basically add some pipes from side to side, which will just overall brace the structure. But he used quick release clamps here so he could easily, slide this pipe out, or the pipes that go from side to side, and he can adjust the height of the grow light if he needs to, or just take the whole rack down if he needs to. But as you can see, he's just got the chain going up and around these top pipes at the very top, and then that just supports the grow light. And as you can see, it looks really awesome, and it's going to be really great for doing some indoor gardening. There he is talking about the T connectors. Definitely check out his full video where he talks about how he built it and everything, and check out his YouTube channel. Lots of good stuff there for indoor gardening, and just a really awesome build all the way around. And it looks like a great adjustable rack that's going to be really useful, as he says in the video. As plants start to grow vertical, he can, grow some pea plants indoors, or some, any kind of climbing plant indoors, and he'll be able to adjust the light, which makes the whole system modular and versatile. And it allows you to, grow some different things inside. So really great. Thanks so much for sharing that build. Really awesome job. His video will be linked down in the description. Next up is a desk from Bradley, and this is really great. I love desks so much, and I've been wanting to do something similar to this for a really long time, which is get two IKEA butcher blocks. They're pretty inexpensive for what they are. They're usually really long and about 25 inches deep. Just, a lot of their base countertops are. And basically, what he's done is taken two of them and created an L shaped desk out of it. I think he said he cut one It's 84 by 25 on one side, and then he cut the other one to be 74 by 25, and then connected them together. And he built the frame out of pipes and connectors, more specifically EMT conduit and the connectors that we make, and built this frame that supports the countertop. And I love this drawing that he included here. You can see he's got cabinets on both sides, so plenty of storage and organization that he's going to have with the drawers in the cabinet. And then this frame, I really love the way that he did this. So basically, he's just got, two verticals per side here, two on this side, two on this side, and then he's got four in the middle. And then he's got some angled bracing here, because one thing you have to watch out for when doing an L-shaped desk is if you build a whole structure here to kind of support the heaviest part of the desk in the middle here, you're kind of giving up leg space, so you can't really get your legs underneath it, and you kind of defeats the whole purpose of an L shape. So what he's done here is really smart, which is just do some angled bracing, which means you could still slide your legs under here and still use this corner of the desk. And the way he did the supports for the countertops is really smart as well. He basically has, the square here. I imagine he used 90-degree connectors, and there's two rungs supporting the countertop per side. But instead of using, like 90 or a four-way connector here to basically have the outer edge of the desk kind of match or be in line with the outer walls of the desk, he's got the two rungs that support the countertop closer in, and so that way it can be evenly spaced and support what's on top a lot more than if it was on the outside, which is really smart and a great way to do it. And that's the plan for it. Here it is in real life as he built it. And you can see the frame kind of came to life from the drawing that he had with the angled bracing. He's got the cabinets there. And just like I said, he's using the corner. He was able to kind of maintain. He can still get his legs under there and use it exactly as he intended. Really awesome. This is really inspiring for me because I've been wanting to do an L-shaped desk for a while. And I think this is a great design that'll be really useful and a really great frame to take advantage of the IKEA countertops because they're pretty inexpensive for what you get, and they look great. As you can see here, he's got some white ones, but they also have some wooden ones, and it's going to make a great desk frame that people can pull some inspiration from. So thanks so much for sharing that. Next up is a boat blind shared by Diver Dev Outdoors on YouTube. They sent over this link, which we appreciate. And you can see here they've got this boat, and on the rails of the boat, they have this bracket that was already there, or maybe they added it, or it's made specifically for the boat, but they added the adjustable angle maker pipe flange to it, and there's just basically the round base is on this flange that was on the boat rail, and then they just did the 90-degree adjustable angle flange and just had it all the way down, so this pipe can run from one side of the boat rail all the way to the other. And then in the middle, I don't know if you saw at the very beginning of the video, there was a coupling connecting the two halves. You could take that apart and take the whole frame off really easily. But then on each side of the boat, they're using adjustable angle connectors. And the way we designed it is how he's using it is basically this puzzle piece clamp is really tight around this crossbar, but it's loose on the end clamp part. It's secured on this vertical, but it's loose inside the puzzle piece clamp. And this creates a hinge, and he's going to take advantage of that for the frame. You can see here he basically just built a big rectangle. I saw a couple of T connectors and quick release clamps so he could take the whole thing apart easily. And he's got some grass and some kind of camouflage stuff on the outside of it. And because that adjustable angle is made to hinge, he can just slide the panels up and out of the way, as you can see here, whenever he's going down the river, whenever he wants to, open it and, start shooting out of it, he can just plop that side down and it just hinges, all thanks to the adjustable angle connector and the way he's got it set up here where it's loose on the end clamp. So that's really cool. Thanks so much for sharing this. Really awesome build, and it looks like it's working out great for you. We really appreciate you posting the video. Next up is another duck blind, but this one is not for a boat. We commonly see boat blinds, but this one is actually for kind of a stationary duck blind and a hunting stand. And this is really cool for a couple of reasons. First of all, the platform that he's using, I think, is really awesome because he shouted out this bracket that he used. I think it's an elevation bracket, I think is what it's called. But it's made here to easily allow you to just use some 2x4s and basically connect this elevation, these kind of legs for the elevation or for the platform to elevate it. And as you can see, you just have to screw into the wood and then secure it to your platform at the top here that I'm sure he built as well. And then he's got this elevated stand that he can sit on top of. You can see he's got his seat mounted to the frame or to the platform there. And then he's using maker pipe and EMT to build the railing around the frame and he just used 90-degree connectors in the corners, and he's got T connectors on there, as you can see there. He's got the whole railing secured to the platform with our flange connectors, and it looks really great. And then at the very top, he's got the camouflage material that you can see here. He's got this canvas rolled up and around the conduit, and he's able to just easily deploy that or roll it up and then, use Velcro straps or something to kind of hold it in place there when it's not in use. And here's a close up of the frame you can see. And underneath, this is a good thing to keep in mind. If you really want to reinforce a railing like this, if you're doing a canopy that's elevated on a deck or something, what you can do is the way our flange is designed is the bottom is open, so the conduit can go all the way through the flange. So he's got this flange here on the top. The conduit vertical is going through it, and then he's got a hole drilled in the platform, and it keeps on going through. And then underneath, he's got it sticking down, looks like a couple of feet, and then he's got another flange on this side, and I think he's got a bolt running through the bolt holes of the flange on both sides and then clamped together, and that's really going to reinforce it and make it really strong, which is really good. When you've got an elevated platform like this, you want it to be super strong and make sure you're building safe. So having something like that to reinforce it and make the railing even more supportive if you do need to touch it or lean against it or something like that, that's really great. So thanks so much, Roy, for posting this. Looks like a great hunting stand, and I'd love to see Maker Pipe and Conduit incorporated into it. Next up is a build from Jared, and this is really awesome. This is super unique, and this is one of those builds that just catches your eye when you see it because it looks really creative. And what it is a compost roller that he made to, as you would imagine, spread compost or fertilizer really easily. And he basically just used some plywood and some hardware cloth, and then, of course, conduit and Maker Pipe. And the way he did it was basically, he's got this circular plywood cut out, and he has a hole drilled through the two halves, or the two sides rather, and then he's got the conduit just kind of making an axle, and it just runs all the way through it. Nothing fancy there for the axle, for it to rotate, just kind of that hole drilled in the plywood. Then he's got T connectors grabbing onto the outside that go up, and he created this handle with the conduit and then T connectors. Then he's got hardware cloth just kind of wrapped around, just kind of bent it to shape around the circle, the plywood that's cut out. And he's got some wood going across to reinforce the circle so it doesn't just kind of smush and collapse. And then he said he just used some 7/8 inch staples to secure the hardware cloth to the wood, and now he's able to basically just grab onto that handle and push or pull it as he spreads the compost or fertilizer, which is super clever and a really cool use of Maker Pipe and Conduit and other materials as well. Super awesome. Thanks so much, Jared, for sending that in. Really great to see. Thanks everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed these builds. I know I did. As always, we appreciate everybody posting your projects. It's always really cool to see what you guys are making and just seeing the creative things that you guys come up with. Keep them coming. We'll keep doing these episodes. Thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you in the next one.